When I think about Women's History Month, I really just think about all of the things that women present day and past have been able to accomplish over the years, regardless of how much people have tried to stomp us down, try to eliminate us from the equation.
I think it's a month where we get to um, focus on admiring women that have gone before us and have been examples of what we could be. I think at times society is so focused on like separating men and women and gender wars that we don't take the time to just focus on the accomplishments of each one. So I think it's just a moment or a month to reflect on our accomplishments, and it kind of like allows us to know that there's no limits to what we could do based on what we've seen other women do.
We are rebuilding and rebounding on the backs of women who've gone before us, and we have to not let them down. They made great sacrifices for us to be where we are, and we should continue to do the same thing in whatever areas that we can. We tend to let our age decide on what we can do and how much we can do. I'm a firm believer that you can do anything you want to do. People are running marathons at 90s and 80s, and I'm a firm believer that exercise is the key to a major change in our life. We have to continue to move. The brain and the body are connected, and if we're not moving the body, the brain is slowly dying, and we don't want that to ever happen to us. So we have to keep the body going, and you will find remarkable results.
In terms of what women bring to the table, that helps drive the church forward, I think we bring a lot more of a softer touch to things. We're a bit more of a sensitive, compassionate, not to say that men can't be, but I think because that is innately part of our nature, and I know sometimes people think about being sensitive and they think of it as like a bad thing. You're too soft, you're too emotional, and you don't think clearly, but I really do think it helps to balance out the way that we go forward in the church. And Jesus himself was very compassionate, very sensitive, so I think it's something that we could really lean into.
If you want something accomplished, if you have a goal, you need to get some women on the team because it will get done. It's in our name. We're here to help. We will ensure that the job gets done, and it gets done pretty and well.
Okay, so if there was one woman that I could sit down with and have a conversation with, it definitely would be Esther. I think every time I think about a woman in the Bible, she's the first person that comes to mind, and we could just like sit around a table and we could trade beauty secrets. My name actually means righteous queen, like my first and my middle name. So whenever I think about that, I kind of just have this image of Esther and just how she was able to, a time when absolute turmoil was happening to her and her people, she was still able to stand up amongst powerful people, and she had this resolution that she was going to stand for God either way, and because she had this courage, it brought her salvation, not just for herself, but she brought her people along with her, and I think that's something that's really admirable, that she was just beautiful inside and out.
I will have dinner with Sarah from the Bible because I've quoted her so many times, or I've quoted her story so many times. With women, there's always a timeline. I grew up with okay, by 12 you need to have accomplished this, by 20 you need to have accomplished this. If you don't do it by this age, it won't happen. Sarah's story I've always quoted it because I understand that there's no limit to when God could accomplish something with you.
There's so many beautiful ladies of history. Let's see. How about Rosa Parks? And I would probably ask her what gave her the courage to make that first move, because that was something that Black women just didn't do. They were always kind of under the thumb of someone. So what made her gain that confidence to go ahead with that?
I have a lot of women in my life. I grew up around a lot of women predominantly. So when I think about women in my life that have inspired me, I think about my mom. I know it's a corny answer, but I think about my mom and my sisters because throughout the years, I've really seen how they've been able to overcome the different challenges in their life, how they've been able to use their strengths Also, the creativity of my sisters has also influenced my own creativity, and it's really just encouraged me to, hone my craft and to just go after whatever it is my heart desires.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. First, it would have been my mom. She was a single mother raising 3 children, and I was the oldest, so I was the most responsible one that she depended on.
In my life, my mother has been a huge inspiration. The grace and the sense of humor she had through it all. Like, single mother raising 2 girls and raised 2 college graduates, and she never graduated from high school. She always laughed, always was positive, was never spoke to us about any limitations, because although she faced or had a tough life, she saw and she knew that there could be better for us. So I think that her strength gave me strength. And I always, even now, like, I brush a lot of things off just because I saw how she would handle things, So she doesn't hold grudges, the way that we laugh in the toughest situations at times is like, all right, well, that was tough. Let me do an ugly cry for about 20 minutes, laugh about it, and move on. So I think that way of living for her just set the pace for my whole life. It was what I needed to see in a strong woman.
My name is Eleanor Robinson.
It's Malika Benjamin.
Danya Donegal, and I am Women's History.